The New Orleans Saints made a trade yesterday. They sent a 4th-round pick in next year's draft and a 7th-rounder in the following draft to the Denver Broncos for the rights to DeVaughn Vele. And as y'all have heard me talk about the Saints, you understand how important I think draft selections are to the Saints. And I did not want the Saints to spend a lot of draft capital to move up in the draft, as they have in the past, to get one player when you need as many lottery tickets as you can get. So conventional wisdom would be, if you say back at draft time in March, April, May, like, hey, don't trade your draft picks for one player, you would suggest, hey, don't trade draft picks for this one player, right? No. This is not like trading up in the draft. This is trading for an actual NFL player who went out there for Denver last year, played in 13 games, caught 41 balls for 475 yards and 3 touchdowns. A very productive rookie player for the Broncos in a developing passing game. Bo Nix was pretty rough early in last year before he turned a corner, and the Broncos really hit their stride late in the season, and that's when you saw Vele come alive. I think this is a really good move for the Saints. I'll explain why. First of all, because you're looking at a guy who is 6'5", 210 pounds, and I look around the Saints wide receiver room, and I struggle to find guys that I know can dunk. It's a bit of an exaggeration. I'm sure Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed have no issue dunking on a 10-foot basketball goal. However, all of the guys in that room are about 5'11" to 6'1". I need some size in that room. I need a physical presence. I need a big body. I need a big frame. Here's your answer. And guess what? Not only is he your answer, he's young and he's cheap. Now, he's not as young as most rookies because he's 27. But you're talking about a guy who I would suggest has 4 or 5 really, really good prime years of football in him. And you grab him on a rookie contract. You don't always get 27, 28-year-olds on rookie deals, right? Well, you get one here. So the fit from the Saints' perspective with their roster makes all the sense in the world. You need this body type. Your receiver room should look more like a basketball team than it does right now. Right now, it looks like a bunch of guys who were clones of each other. And there's talent there. I like Olave. I like Shaheed. Beyond that, I'm not sure what you've got. Brandon Cooks at the tail end of his prime. Beyond that, probably, but he's still the same size. Like, you needed this, and so you got that. That's a big deal. And the other side of the trade is always, okay, what did you give up? Well, I told you the Saints gave up a 4th-rounder next year and a 7th-rounder the year after that. And while those are assets, they're very questionable. And suggesting that you would find someone that you know can go out an NFL season and catch 475 yards worth of ball and 3 touchdowns is a stretch in the 4th round. Now, you hope you've really hit home runs with your 4th-round picks in this past draft with Stutzman and Quincy Riley. But you look at some of the other 4th-round picks you've taken. Nick Saldiveri, Jake Haener, not going to help. Now, Ian Book, bust, didn't help. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, that's a hit, no doubt. Rick Leonard, never helped, tackle. David Onyemata, good player, absolutely, that's a hit. Kyrie Fort, bust. Like, these are the guys you're getting in the 4th round. Your hit rate's not even 50% on guys that you're taking in the 4th round. This is going to be a hit. And the 7th round is an even bigger crapshoot than that. I mean, I can go through the 7th-round picks the Saints have taken. Very rarely does a 7th-round pick help you a lot. You're talking about Josiah Zerum, who's been a squad player for you from last year. Kawan Baker, I don't even remember him, from South Alabama. Tommy Stevens, you took out of Mississippi State. He never helped you at all. Caden Ellis, a linebacker who became a nice player. But Will Clapp's been a journeyman offensive lineman in the league. Daniel Lasco at running back, no. Like, the 7th round is a complete crapshoot. You're getting a proven commodity on a cheap contract for very little in return. I think this is exactly the kind of move the New Orleans Saints need to make. It makes sense from a roster perspective. It makes sense from a production perspective. It makes sense from a giving away of assets perspective. Everything about this I like. And that's the kind of moves the Saints are going to have to make moving forward if they want to dig themselves out of this rush. I think Vele comes in immediately and becomes a guy who is going to play. I think he's going to be out there active a lot. I think he's going to be the only guy on this receiving core who plays this type of role. I think he's a red zone threat. I think he's a third down threat. I think he's even a deep ball threat at that size. I think this is an immediate help to your roster now and to your roster then. And my entire point with everything the Saints do when it comes to free agent contracts, when it comes to drafting, when it comes to signing the guys that are on your roster to extensions, like everything needs to be in mind with what's best for the next really good Saints team. And this could be really good for the next really good Saints team. Maybe that's next year. Maybe it's the year following. Either way, he should be around. He should be productive. So this is a big win for the Saints. It seems small. It's not one that's going to make the front block of SportsCenter. Not one that's going to dominate the crawl on the NFL Network. Not even one that I led the show with today, but one that makes all the sense in the world. So hopefully you can get him into camp. You've got a couple of weeks to get him ready for that first game, and he should fit right in as a guy that you don't have. You don't have this option. So I am all about getting DeVaughn Vele in this trade, and you at times concern yourself with doing business with Sean Payton. Loomis and Sean Payton go all the way back, and maybe he knows something that you don't. And I think there's a lot of fans that are around here in South Louisiana that trust Sean Payton far more than they trust Mickey Loomis, and I get that. I completely get that. But this makes a lot of sense, I think, for both teams. The Broncos have a loaded receiver room that's very much set up without this asset. They get a couple of draft picks that they can use at a later time, and the Saints part with those assets, which are very much question marks, and they can go ahead and add in more of a certainty. I wouldn't call it a certainty, but more of a certainty than what you had on your roster previously, and certainly what you can have on your in your draft pick. So I'm all about this move. I think it's a really, really good one for the black and gold with this trade. Just 2.5 weeks before things get started with the Saints and the Cardinals. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.